Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward back with BuckIQ here at Lettermen Row. We've got the one and only Zach Boren. You know we're talking about defense. It's that weekly breakdown. And Zach, you know we've been pretty critical of those Buckeyes, those silver bullets, but I think on Saturday they earned that moniker back.
They looked like the silver bullets, the old-time silver bullets. Man, I tell you, the passion that they played with, the aggression that they played with as a defense really came out and showed. And people are going to say, you know, it was a vanilla Michigan State offense. They still went up to Michigan State, gave up less points than, you know, the Michigan defense that everyone is saying is the best in the country, and they really shut Michigan State down the entire game.
To get a game like that, 26-6 at Michigan State, I know that it seems obvious, but when you hold a team without a touchdown, you know, how does the defense feel? How big of a source of pride is that?
It's huge. I mean, from a confidence standpoint, those guys have their swagger back. It could not have come at a better time. Granted, you know, the past couple weeks have been rough, especially the game at Purdue. You know, people still question a little bit with Nebraska last week. But to go up there, a top 20 opponent, do what they did as a defense, it's just going to springboard them. You would think they're going to give the same kind of performance against Maryland this week, who has kind of been struggling the past couple weeks, and then the big showdown less than 2 weeks from now.
Is it schematic, Zach? Is it effort? Is it energy? What is it that you're saying more than anything else?
Everything that you just said. Schematically, they've changed. They've went to some zone coverage, which we've been talking about all year. The attitude of the defense has changed. You finally saw them running around to the football, playing with heart, playing with passion that we talked about last week. It's just when you have that swagger back, when you play with confidence as a defense, that's what makes you great, right? The swagger, the attitude of the defense takes you from a good defense to a great defense.
What shows up on film, that's what you guys always say, right? The tape never lies. So let's roll it and let's see how Ohio State's got things going defensively again.
Here's the workie. Decides to run it, and he gets dropped.
All right, Zach, here's the situation. We've talked about that linebacking unit all year long. This guy, you know, tough Borland, ups and downs, trying to get back from that Achilles injury, but here he is firing right through the gap, making a play in the backfield.
There is. I love this play. This is a little bit of a cross blitz that you'll see, but what I love about here is that Ohio State finally brought some pressure from depth. So much this year we've seen the linebackers only bring pressure from on the line. If this is on the line, Tough is not able to react to the play, get a feel for what's going on, and be able to alter his course, his blitzing course, and able to here and make the play. If anything, 55 is able to pick him up if he's up at the line of scrimmage and he gets caught up in the scrum. Here he's able to shoot the gap, sees the pulling guard, able to stay on his butt and make the play on this quarterback counter play.
What do you think, Zach? What are you reading here if you're Tough Borland? Because it looks like he is intent, like Lewerke is just in his sights the whole way here.
Well, the great thing here is there is no running back, right? Normally when there's a running back, you're able to read the back. But instead, they're in two tight ends, so a lot of Tough's vision is through the guard to the quarterback. This guard right here is going to show you exactly what's going on. Okay. If he comes up and sits up, obviously you know it's pass. If he reaches hard this way with the motion coming here, obviously you know it's going to be one of those little sweet plays or sweet passes that are so popular nowadays.
Right.
This guy pulls, which is what they're showing right here. He's going to pull, meaning quarterback keep. Tough is able to shoot it. He knows Malik is playing over top of him. He knows all he has to do is beat the blocker, beat the tackle. He's good, gets skinny, and is able to make a play here for a 5-yard loss.
That's a big one. One of only 2 tackles for loss for Ohio State in this game.
An interception against Maryland. They run it on first down. Connor Hayward, who's coming off a terrific outing against the Terps, over 100 yards rushing, and nowhere to go over that right side.
This was actually right at the start of the game where Malik Harrison gets involved, Jonathan Cooper, and a bunch of other silver lids there, Zach, and that's something I know you've been talking about a lot, rallying to the football. This
is a typical silver bullet defense play. You look at all these gaps. There are no huge gaps like we've talked about. There are no guys avoiding blocks from a linebacker standpoint. You see Malik Harrison see it right here. Go up, get in the hole, right? He sees it. All these guys are doing their job. You got Brendan White, the safety, having all the help over here to the backside. What I love here, watch Tough Borland, the way he hats and hands this tight end. Gets right underneath his chin, gets the extension. This running back's got nowhere to go, right? Tough is pushing everything back inside. The defensive line is plugging every gap. And then as you play the tape and this guy's forced from Tough being so quote-unquote tough, right? Everyone is able to fly to the football. Everyone's jumping on top of the pile. You see however many hats, there may be all 11 hats right here if we were to count them. Everyone on the defense is here in the plays at the line of scrimmage. We haven't seen that really all year.
Both of these plays, Zach, and you talked about the schematic adjustments. The linebackers are not up here in the mix.
Yep.
Have you noticed that to be an emphasis and how much more that's helping Ohio State's linebackers?
It's huge. These guys are read and react type guys. They're not bigger linebackers, right? These are guys that need space, that need time to read and react on a play. You see Malik Harrison finally take a great scrape angle, through the line. You see him get in there, be able to get hats and hands on him.
Mm-hmm.
Tough Borland's coming up, hats and hands in the tight end, forcing everything back inside, being physical, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. All these guys are getting their shot on the running back. And that doesn't feel good for the running back. That's not a confidence booster, these guys. You see all these guys, all these Michigan State guys up, standing around looking at all these guys on top of their running back.
Couple of timeouts to get the ball the second time. Here's Brian Lewerke hit as he throws and picked off. Brendan White with the interception.
So we've talked now about the linebackers, how well they're playing here, and a big day for them. This is where the defensive line and then the safety gets involved here in the end with Shaun Wade. But a game that a play that seals the game here. You get a turnover, and a lot of guys that get credit for what happened here.
It is. You see some zone coverage with it's almost playing spies with Lewerke here in this time. You see the one high back in the back, right? You see Jordan Fuller getting back to the middle of the field. The thing that I love is they're letting these defensive linemen go, right? Hey, we're not forcing the linebackers to go up and get in the way of the defensive lineman rushing. This ball is snapped, the linebackers drop, they're spying, they're helping out on any inside routes inside here, making sure the quarterback isn't scrambling, and they're letting the defensive line get up and go, giving them space to make moves. And you see Chase Young get home, and then Shaun Wade's able to get off, see the ball, make a pick, and big turnover here late in the game.
Zach, this guy in the middle, 86, Draymond Jones, I know he's been banged up. He doesn't like to talk about it. I asked about him probably every week about his health, and he just doesn't want to make any excuses. The way he's played, the way he gets in there and collapses this pocket, gets a hand up, I'm just really impressed by the effort he's continuing to give.
You know what? The past 2 weeks have been huge for 86. There was a time there where, you're right, he was banged up, wasn't making excuses, maybe wasn't playing as well as he should have. Mm-hmm. But what he's done the past 2 weeks and the leadership that he's shown with his play in the Nebraska game, now in the Michigan State game, he's on top of his game. At the beginning of the year, they're saying he's a top 10 draft pick. He's playing like that right now. He is, full go at all times, setting the tone, getting to the ball, and really being a physical part in that front seven.
A lot of those guys starting to make an impact right at that correct time of year, as I believe. Yep. Zach, November for championships. Ohio State's starting to get it rolling a little defensively. You're going to have to do that the same way on Saturday against Maryland. And then we'll talk about November 24th next week when Zach is back in here. But that's Zach Boren. I'm Austin Ward, and it's been BuckIQ right here at Lettermen Row.